Questions for the Premier continue today.
Yes, I want to go back to this admission from Gladys Berejiklian, the New South Wales Premier, on the Ben Fordham program yesterday, that she did not approach ICAC to share information on the allegedly corrupt former MP and her former boyfriend, Daryl Maguire, until they approached her in 2020. Despite his resignation from Parliament when named adversely in an ICAC inquiry in 2018. Here is Section 11 of the Independent Commission Against Corruption Act. It states that a person to whom this section applies is under a duty to report to the Commission any matter that the person suspects on reasonable grounds concerns or may concern corrupt conduct. Here is me asking the Premier about why she did not go to ICAC in 2018 on Mr Maguire on Friday, and then Ben Fordham asking her about it yesterday. In 2018, he left Parliament because of corruption allegations. Why did you not go down to ICAC then, or have your lawyer write to ICAC and say, I've been with this man and I'm aware of his land deals? You are the Premier after all.
Can I just say this, that I have been absolutely overly cooperative with ICAC from the outset, and all I will say is this: you cannot disclose many of the proceedings that happen behind closed doors, but I will say this, that I've been overly cooperative.
Did you speak to them in 2018? Did you speak to them in 2018?
Again, I've said this, that it's important to respect the processes.
But would it not be relevant to ICAC to say, hey, listen, this bloke who's been done for corruption, I'm the Premier, I should just let you know before you find out on your own, I've been in a relationship with him.
But Ben, I also had confidence and do have confidence in the process. They would have known all that, and they would have come to me if they needed anything. So and which they did obviously at an appropriate time.
Well, I can reveal information from a former senior New South Wales government source that, in contrast to Berejiklian's approach, former Trade Minister Niall Blair's office reported Mr Maguire's interaction with them around lobbying and Maguire's desperation to go to China at the same time as the minister, immediately after Maguire resigned in 2018. I'm told that after the resignation, immediately after, the Premier's office called a meeting of all ministerial staff and said that now they were aware Maguire had resigned over his name coming up at ICAC, they should give any concerns they had over to the General Counsel of the Premier's Department, with the presumption that information would then be handed to ICAC. An advisor for Niall Blair, Charlie Cole, then raised this China issue from late 2017 with the Premier's office, and it was duly handed over. Niall Blair was then interviewed by ICAC investigators about this in March 2019. ICAC has heard questions over whether Maguire wanted to get on the board of United World Enterprises, the company he was lobbying for in relation to the China trip. Here is some evidence from Gladys Berejiklian's former Chief of Staff, Sarah Cruikshank, a fortnight ago at ICAC. She was asked about an approach she had from Niall Blair's office in 2017, where they expressed concern Daryl Maguire was going to go on this China trip to lobby. She says, Sarah Cruikshank, I expressed my displeasure, said to Charlie, that's ridiculous. Of course, Daryl can't do that. Ms Cruikshank was asked in evidence, did anyone suggest to you that Mr Maguire might have had an interest in the UWE company, by which I mean a financial interest or other business interest? No. Then she was asked if she knew that he had an interest, would she have reported it to the Corruption Commission? Ms Cruikshank said, yeah. Berejiklian discusses the China trip with Maguire in this 2017 phone tap that was played to the Commission last week.
And they seem to think it's in your electorate. I didn't say anything. I just said, okay, let me know how it goes.
She says during that conversation that Sarah Cruikshank is going to ring him, and she hasn't informed her staff that the project being lobbied for is outside his electorate. About 3 months later, Maguire tells the Premier in another tap that he is getting a role with a Jimmy, which some are speculating is United World Enterprises' Jimmy Lou.
Anyway, I'll tell you tonight, Jimmy made me an offer.
All right, well, you stay away, please.
Then there are these other phone calls concerning Maguire profiting on a land deal at Badgerys Creek and lobbying for Louise Waterhouse that Berejiklian does not pass on to ICAC information on in 2018.
Did you get an email from Louise Waterhouse?
Nope.
You will. She'll send you email. She's really pissed off now. So, about the airport. They're all passing the buck.
All right.
Same out at Camellia too.
Okay, so
Same out at Camellia.
I've got to go. See you, bye.
All right, bye. The good news is William tells me we've done our deal. So hopefully that's about half of all that gone now.
That's good. I don't need to know about that bit.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And then I had to come and meet our friend Louise, and then because she's having problems, big problems now, they want to make all her area now a greenfield site and just leave it, lock it up. She's furious. And which is the Sydney Planning Commission. So anyway, I met her and introduced her to people. And Jimmy's here with his delegation, who he's had to Carabubula and whatever. So he said, "Can you come?" So I made him go to both the same restaurant, and I'll just go from one room to the other. How's your trip?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Gladys Berejiklian was given a notice to produce documents to ICAC in September 2020 concerning Louise Waterhouse and her lobbying, and documents sent to her email address. That's when she provided that information to the inquiry 2 years after Maguire resigned in disgrace. And we know in question time just then, the Prime Minister declined to deny that Daryl Maguire had lobbied him in connection with any matter.
Did disgraced former New South Wales Liberal MP Daryl Maguire make any representations to the government about visas, including to you, Prime Minister?
It has been my long-established practice, as I'm sure both when I was previously a minister, but certainly as a Prime Minister. As a Prime Minister, you receive representations from many people in the community, from those opposite, included, Mr Speaker, on many matters, including on those which the member has referred to. And it is my normal practice for those matters through my office to be referred to the relevant department or my department for an appropriate response, and that is the practice I've always followed.
Still on that matter, the Federal Police in Senate estimates told the Senate estimates they're going to be reaching out to ICAC.
A real surprise here. The Australian Federal Police, asked in Senate estimates about their investigation, announced on Friday into the other Badgerys Creek land deal, where the land was sold by the federal government for $30 million and had a value of $3 million. They ended up telling Labor Senator Christina Keneally that they will be contacting ICAC to see whether or not there are any links between Daryl Maguire and this sale.
Has ICAC been in contact with you?
No.
And have you reached out to the ICAC?
Not yet.
But that's something you are intending to do?
Correct.
Right. And that's as a result of the revelations that have come out of the ICAC inquiry?
There's been a range of revelations to come out of it, Senator, yes.
Yes. In this case, I am specifically referring to the fact that Mr Maguire has admitted he has engaged in this conduct of selling visas.
Well, I think there's other issues in relation to Badgerys Creek in terms of just satisfying ourselves that Mr Maguire does not have any involvement in relation to the matter that we're investigating. That'd be a primary focus of engaging ICAC at the minute, Senator.
Okay. So as part of your preliminary investigation into the Leppington Triangle, you
Correct.
would also speak to ICAC about Mr Maguire's potential involvement in land transactions there?
Correct.
Right.